Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debacle you know and trust. Fairview IT Cup Series coming up here at Lanes Raceway. The guys getting their cars ready. We got a boisterous, I'm bragging on these guys, 9 guys in this race tonight, Tom. Big 9. Already told them it's going to be strictly enforced 30-second rule. If your car gets completely blown apart, 30 seconds, I will be bringing this track back online. It's going to be hard racing out here, folks. Hard racing. Heading over to the double cam, we can see these guys getting ready to go. Tom, are you ready to go?
For sure.
I know I'm ready to go. Make sure all of our stuff's set up here for the standings for the night. So tonight, what are we looking at, Tom? Fairview IT Cup. Looks like Jay Latham, first place, 375. Glen Burden, 355. Action Jackson, also known as Gold Dust, also known as Heat Wave, also known as, what was his other name?
Second place.
Second place, okay. 325, currently in third place. Guillermo Sire there in fourth with 300. So there's your current standings there. All right, racers, are we ready? Let's watch them lights. Let's keep it clean. And here we go. Will we see it clean, Tom? What's your guess? First lap.
Oh, someone's coming off. As I said. No?
You're right. Somebody came off.
Forward, dude.
Currently here, folks, I am enjoying myself a little bit of an icy that my wife has made me. It helps the throat, you know?
Yeah.
Keeps it nice and cool.
Yeah, I came to watch a race, but I think I came from one for Demolition Derby now.
Oh, it's definitely an Demolition Derby. I don't think we've ever ran one of these that were like super clean.
No.
As far as I can recall, it's always been a bloodbath.
Yeah.
We might have had one in a million that isn't, but I'll tell you right now, this is a race that definitely causes some turmoil. As we see Carson Ross's car, I think that was the second time his car came off there. And it got shut all the way down to Dead Man's Corner. 3 cars coming off there. The new Red Fox bodies. Guys are eager for them. We see one of them getting put there on blue. That's Glen Burden's. That's the one that survived such a debacle last race that we held. And pretty much sold 3 of them bodies because of it. We got the blue and yellow. That's Gabriel Kirtley's car, of course. And then we got one up on white and red, and that's Randy and Carson. Now, Carson, his body, his NOS body, rough shape.
Oh, yeah.
I would say out of all the bodies I've ever seen, it's a sad state of affairs.
Should have seen my old one.
Whew.
The whole left side of it wasn't the body, and where it was taped, I made a body on the inside.
I mean, I think he would be better off with that body than what we're currently seeing now. This thing is in brutal condition. Seeing a lot of slapping back and forth through the backside here as we see Glen Burden coming off, and I believe he collected both Paul Woosley and I believe that might be Bruce Bullington.
I think so. I will say those Red Fox bodies are nice.
They're tough.
They're built well, they look good, and they're low profile. That's the reason why they don't get hurt as bad is because a lot of cars, a lot of time they go under them. They're really low to the track compared to some of the RTRs and everything. They're all kind of setting up more.
Well, one thing I figured out, if I give something a lot of praise on these live streams, I find that next week when I need to order the stuff, it's gone. So Red Fox bodies, they've been on our distributor for months and months and months. And, you know, I usually just get the RTR stuff.
Yeah.
But now that we're saying this, they may all be gone. They are a little bit more expensive.
They are. They sure are.
But I think they're worth it.
Yeah.
Not even 30 seconds into the first heat here. At this rate, Tom, we're looking at another 2-hour race fest here. Not to mention that if that's the case, we will not be running the GRC on the oval tonight. simply because of time.
Yeah.
But we're also starting 40 minutes early.
Yeah, we are.
We know this now. We got to start this as early as we can, just simply because of the brutality of it all.
Yep, there's another.
And that looks like to be the NOS car of Carson yet again, coming to the outside high banks. Carson's going to get him some points here tonight. That's his main focus. He's trying to get up there in the 4 crowns.
You only do that by running laps.
That's it. I think his body's his main Achilles heel,
Yeah.
causing him to come out. It's very top heavy from where it's been crunched up so bad. I have about half of mine giving that 51 there, but I'm afraid you completely destroy it.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't be a 51 after. You'd be missing the 5 and missing half of 1, so it'd be I don't know what it'd be.
It'd be tore up.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, I tell you, I started a fire here in the shop today.
No?
Yeah. So I hooked up the old power supply.
Uh-huh.
Remember them old wires that were starting to burn the insulation off of them?
Yeah.
Hooting? Yeah. I made one glow red, and it melted into lava in here. So I swapped those out with some 12-gauge wire. And I'll tell you right now, it flat hooties some tires now, buddy. Oh, yeah, dude. I'm done in like 2 seconds. See Jay Latham, he's currently on deck, so he's setting out. He's not in the first heat. And when he gets in, you know, he'll put his car up there in front of the start-finish line. That'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
We can see there on yellow Bruce and his beautiful art that he makes with these bodies. Like, literally, did you see his dirt lake model car that he had? I told him, I said, man, I just want to smell it to see if it smells like an orange, because it looked like the inside of an orange.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The music we're listening to now, a little bit of funk, you know, 60s, 70s kind of funk, you know, not jazz. We've already been told before, jazz does not need to be played on from person. So nonetheless, we are not doing it. This is funk. It's got a little bit of a smoky beat to it, kind of like blues. Yeah. But it's not, you know, it's not, what do you call it? It's not jazz. Yeah. It's a little more upbeat. It's easy listening. Let's just say that. It's easy listening. And you know, we got to calm our nerves, man. When we're talking about how hard these guys are racing these cars and how much they beat and bang each other, we got to keep the nerves down, you know. We want that nice vibe going out there to these guys, keeping their attitudes in check so they ain't ready to kill each other. Yeah. Because it can be very frustrating here in the NASCAR series. I've ran one of them since we've been open. I don't tend to do a lot of racing here. You know that, Tom. Yeah. But I've ran one, and I'll tell you, I disconnected my controller. Do you remember that? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. I have a slow fuse. Those that know me, I have a very slow fuse.
Yeah. It's like that night when you ran the car with the first ever lights on it in here.
Yeah. I unhooked my controller then, too. Well, I made 3 laps. I was like, well, you know, I got a lot to fix. I still ain't fixed that car, Tom. It's in the back, but T did an exceptional job last week cleaning up the shop. It was immaculate, in a word. We're about to be done with our first heat here. Gabriel K out in the lead. To be expected. He's been leading the past couple after the first heat or so. So whether it's a luck of a draw, which I believe it is, there on Purple Lane, you know, he's able to turn those faster laps. Nathaniel B completely out right now. Only 4 laps, but Nathaniel needs to hurry up and get his car back in as quick as possible. He's trying to get his car back in because it's all going to go for everybody, you know. Yeah. Ooh. Let's get a hard hit there, and a car to the outside. Reason I say that is, you know, Nathaniel is legitimately in the top 3 for the 4 crowns.
You have to do what you can to stay there.
Yeah. I have a lot of races to do some replacing. I think this is the first one past the 4 on the Fairview IT Cup. So you got a chance to replace one of your older races. Yeah. So that's why I say you got to get back in there and do the best you can. heat's over there now. We take a look at there, and what a horrible time for Nathaniel there. Only 6 laps. I think the last time I seen him race this, he had some bad luck like this too. And not good. As we go over here to the player card here and we look at Nathaniel here for a second, we can see right now he's in 5th place in the Fairview IT Cup Series. So what does Nathaniel need to do? He needs to get back in there and try to get 5th or better.
Yeah.
Now, is that out of the question? Well, and I know. We have seen this before. We'll probably see it yet again. Half of the pack completely out of a heat.
I've seen snapped axles, bent cars, and everything under the sun because of this series.
Yeah, so it's just it's that easy. And like I said, I'm going to more efficiently hit these guys on that 30-second time to help those people that are having some more issues with their cars. That way that they're not the only ones suffering. Definitely survival of the fittest when it comes to this.
I still got some snapped axles sitting in the box.
Snapped axles, bent axles. I've seen both rear tires come off of the car.
Yep.
Both of them. From people stripping the hubs. I've seen countless stripped gears. Too many to count. Seen 2 blown motors.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the night Clay brought his in, and he said, "Let me put a flashlight on top of it and see if that works." And it didn't even make it 2 feet, and it just went up in a plume of smoke. Yep. The other one that I seen smoked was, of course, Paul Woosley, and he had a screamer too.
Yeah, he did.
Both of them did. You remember that? Both of them had screamers. Clay's had one that nobody could touch for. What, 2 races?
No, it was 1 race.
1 race, yeah. That was the one he burnt right out of the gate, wasn't it? So I guess 3 then. 3 of them. 47 seconds left to go. We see down there on purple Glen Burton and his red Fox orange and blue car. Don't forget, folks, chat is live here at Lanes Raceway if you want to have a little talk with me and old Tommy T. It's a pretty special occasion whenever old Tommy T's here in the mix. So if you want to join in on the combo, we're here. In the meantime, we're going to be back to the main screen here, our current new main screen with the new cam, the Dead Man Corner cam. Right there in the upper right-hand portion of the left camera there, you can see that yellow body. That was from Dean Martin, I believe, or was his last name Martin? Dean something.
It was Dean something, I'm not for sure.
Anyways, he come here when we first opened, and he blew the nose off of that baby in the first race.
Yep.
So we hung it up on our drip, I guess is what we call it. Man, what a coast we seen there from Bruce. You see that thing? It went about 8 feet.
That's what you love to see, though.
That's what I love to see. High coast, big money. See Cassie and I believe that's Marley there scooting around in the old roly-poly chair, tearing the living dog out of my floor. But nonetheless, I got some replace paint. What do we got here? We got another car coming off here, the orange car. And there's another car Randy's got there in his hand. So it's Jackson and Nathaniel. A car we're not really seeing come off a lot is Jackson. Jackson up here in 4th place. He's coming in here. He's been kind of down all day long. Yeah. He's disappointed. He's not hanging in there, being a front runner in some of these more professional style classes where these guys take it a little bit more serious. Yeah. But he's got nothing to fear. He's just got to continue to practice and do the best that he can. And like I said, we're starting to see him come into his own here a little bit in 4th place there on white lane. So, previously he would have been on orange lane. Here he is on white lane holding it in. Carson Ross not in last place either right now. Nathaniel back in the mix. Jay just now getting in. So it's good to see Nathaniel back in. He's got to climb to get above that 5 mark. If he can solidify a 4th place here, that's going to help him points-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Gabriel Kirtley still out in the lead there on Black Lane, turning 26 laps so far with the best lap of 1.496. Now, guys, there is no breakout in this series. It's our open series. Every week we have one open series. It's either going to be this Fairview IT Cup or it's going to be the Wing Car Series that Tom's a part of.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we got a nice funky song going on here. I was looking around and seeing I think there was one called Heart or something like that. It's another like streaming service that you can get actual licensed songs and stuff. You got to pay for them individually. Now, this stuff here is just people making music, and you know, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of words, but really, if you're racing slot cars, you don't want a lot of people singing in your ear.
No.
But you do want something to kind of keep you in the rhythm, you know, or I do. Some people would disagree. Like right now, the guys are out there. The music's up, but it's not like extremely loud.
Yeah.
It's just barely up, just where you can kind of feel a beat, you know. Cut the monotony in the air, right?
Oh, yeah.
Here in the shop, though, we are listening to some music, jamming, as they would say.
Of course.
I'll tell you, on pinball night, I like to really jam.
You've done that
Last
multiple
night, we
times.
did a little jamming last night, didn't we?
Just a little bit.
Of course, Snake Plissken came in, played a little bit of pinball with us,
Yep.
and he introduced me to a new band. I can't even remember the name of them, but man, it was like some Metallica from the 80s. But nonetheless, it had a pretty good rhythm. Hey, you know, you need the faster
Yeah.
bass lines and the faster rhythm when you're trying to hit all those balls, you know.
Sure.
Kind of get you in the zone there. Now on Purple Lane, we got Glen Burden. He's right there with Gabriel Kirtley, just 6 laps down. Paul Woosley right behind him in the Fighting Rooster car there in the high banks. You see him in the pink and orange. I don't really want to say what it actually says, but Fighting Rooster, nonetheless.
I remember when he had that car made.
It's a good-looking body, and it's still holding together even unto this day.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you what kind of caliper racer he is, because I'll tell you right now, what was that, 2 series ago? And he's still running that
I
thing.
think so.
So that just goes to show you, folks, how well his body keeping is. You know, I would put Paul up there with Randy Kirtley when it comes to skill.
Oh, yeah.
Reason why we seen it in LMP Thunder Series, he had it in the bag, Tom.
He did.
He had it in the bag, and of course that's why he took off this one. And
Yeah.
I mean, man, I can't blame him. I would be so upset. I'd be so tore up too. He had a 15 lap there on Randy, and it all just went downhill. I just kind of felt like I lost my college tuition, bro, when I was watching that. I felt like I was getting flushed down the drain. You know, I felt like the sewer was going to be my new home. Like, I mean, the list goes on because I was rooting for him. Like, he would have been the first one to be a champion other than Randy Kirtley.
Yeah.
And, you know, he'd just come off of a victory, I believe it was in this class, wasn't it? In the Oval Series?
No, it was the GRC Truck Series.
Okay. And he took that home in the Oval
Yeah.
portion of it. So, you know, there were a little bit of a rivalry between him and Randy Kirtley, but he just wasn't able to clinch it. But he's back here. He comes in. He races with us. He's been supporting Cassie and her GRC dreams. Gabriel Kirtley, 133 total laps. Glen Burden, 127. Paul Woosley, 123. Action Jackson, 112. You know he's got to be pretty happy about being in 4th position. Let's go over there to the player cards and check out Action Jackson here and see where he is currently. He's in 3rd currently, so that's respectful, right? So he's only 1 position away from you know, getting some good points here for sure to solidify that 3rd position.
Sure.
And as you can see there, him celebrating there in the left-hand portion of your screen with the King's hat on. He wants to wear that again.
He does.
And it looks like he's going to have him a chance there in the GRC series. They're currently in 1st place. The Little Rumble took that baby home, you know. Current standings here, as you can see, Jay Latham, 375 total points. Glen Burden, 355. Jackson, 325 there in 3rd. Guillermo Sire, 300. Guillermo not here this week. Usually, past 3 weeks we've seen him.
Yeah.
So I guess he had to work this week. A lot of times that takes place. But, you know, it's good to see Bruce. You know, we hadn't seen him in a couple of weeks. It's almost like they swap, like they call each other and say, hey, I'm going to be there this week. What about you? You know?
Yeah, that's
I don't
just
know.
kind of They pick a week and one of them comes up and does it.
Pretty good coincidence in my book. 1 minute and 11 seconds left to go in the heat. I'll be right back with you. All right, folks, 10 seconds here before we go back green racing. Action Jackson, he's going to be setting out this heat, also known as Flame On. Also, I mean, no, that ain't really his name. I don't know, Heat King, that's what he was, Heat King. In the heat of the night, Action Jackson, he's going to be helping put the cars back on this time. 1:58 seconds, we already got a wreck here, 2 seconds in. Is that Bruce? Bruce has got a hold of it. It might be Bruce. Nonetheless, he has expressed his disdain for the Red Fox bodies. He does not like them. He claims that they're coming out because they are Red Fox bodies. I've informed him that it is not the body causing the car to come out. It could be the chassis, could be the braid, it could be guide flag wires dragging the track, it could be tires are too wore out. Could be many things causing these cars to come out, but very rarely is it the body unless it's completely crippled and like a brick wall going down through there. Usually the body is the only reason that the chassis stays on the track in the first place, for the aerodynamical purposes of that. Paul Woosley there on Purple Lane, you see him in your left-hand portion of the screen there. Currently in third place, 129. Bruce Wilton yet to made a lap, so he's having some issues there with his car, but he'll get them worked out. We know Bruce, they don't call him the street for nothing, Tom. Oh, folks. Clay Dame, Robert Bishop, back in action. They're here again, folks. I can't get enough of Lanes Raceway, can you? I'm telling you, I think they might have went out to go get something to eat, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to beat you in pinball. I'm coming back for some pinball action. Is that what, am I guessing right? I guessed right, y'all. Of course, I got my headphones on. I can't really hear a whole lot, but I did hear Clay come on in. Clay Dame Farms, folks. For y'all that don't know Clay Dame, you might remember Clay Dame is a sponsor without being a sponsor of the Hillbilly Tea. He loves Hillbilly Tea, folks. The peach variety, mostly. But tonight, what is he drinking? Well, it's too late at night, so he's drinking him a nice, fresh, cold water here at Lanes Raceway. Clay, what pinball machine are you going to try to get a high score on? Well, what about Godzilla? You're not going for Godzilla? What about Jurassic Park? Jurassic Park. JP's where it's at. That's my favorite game currently. Did you see where Glen B won the October badge for Jurassic Park? Got him 100 crispy ones. Took him 15 days. He got it though. Now, Tom, when I get on a tirade talking to people, you make sure that these people are obeying the 30-second rule. For sure. Because I haven't heard Carson a bit until just right now. We just lost 120 frames there. I think we scared the camera when all those cars took off like a swarm of bees. Speaking of swarm of bees, we got honey here at Lanes Raceway, from my hive to your home. If you are a fan of delicious wild and raw honey, just give you a little disclaimer: do not feed this to infant children. It has not been pasteurized, so do not do that. Other than that, eat my honey at your own risk. Let me just say that. Comes fresh from the hive. All I do is cut the caps and spin that baby in a stainless steel drum, and then I filter it out. I'll put it in nice, heated up bottles, germ-free glass bottles. So even after you eat all the honey, you got this beautiful bottle with a cork top. It says Wild and Raw on it, Livermore, Kentucky. And it has a Psalms passage talking about honey. It's a good thing for the heart and the bones. T has controlled the LED lights tonight, Tom. I told her, I said, set it up to where it feels a little fall festive. I almost think she went to the Circus Soleil kind of design there.
Yeah.
Or Circus from Las Vegas. I'm not really getting so much fall vibes as I am gambling vibes, like I should hit up the roulette wheel.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
It works.
I like the warm yellows, the warm yellow hues and the red. Now, the reason you're seeing those lights flicker and flash, folks, these are 5-volt LEDs. So, yes, when those cars are going past that LED strip, it is capable of inducing voltage, and that is what's taking place. So, that's why they're flickering.
We'll keep them in check for the 30 seconds.
All right, Tom's got him a timer over here, folks. If these guys ain't on that 30-second timer, we're fixing to hit that go button. Gabriel K out in the lead, 185 laps there on yellow. Glen Burton, 183 down low. Glen, he is fighting with everything he can. Good opportunity for Glen here. If he can increase that point lead in this series, you know, that's going to be detrimental there for Jay Latham. Jay Latham there, of course, 100 laps on green. And second to last there currently. Now, I hope just because Jackson's out of the heat here that he doesn't get too disappointed or upset when it comes to when he comes back in. Because when he comes back in, you know, he's going to be in last, most likely. So,
Put on.
a lot of times racing, I found, Tom, is just trying to keep people to go that extra mile. You know, try to push just a little bit further, a little bit harder. Because nobody wants to. You need a helping hand. As we get a yellow flag, Carson Ross's car come to a complete stop here. And we'll hit him with a 10-second warning if we have to here. Looks like Glen Burton probably got it fixed. Probably just a little bit of a braid issue, most likely.
Yeah.
As he's back rolling. 25 seconds left to go in this heat. You know, the race is going halfway decent here. We're already in the third round robin. Not a whole lot of wrecks taking place here. About once every 5 or 6 laps. I've seen worse. A lot worse.
We all have. We've all been on that track running NASCAR.
Yep. I've got some bloody knuckles from it before. And things come off with the fury too. I've been hit right below my stomach before and had my breath taken from me.
See, that's the reason why I learned to stand sideways whenever I was track marshaling in the original series, the first ever Fairview IT's Management Cup series. I stand sideways out there track marshal just for that reason.
Burton giving Nathaniel Burton's car a little once-over. So we see Carson. He's getting tired, folks. He's trying to hang in there. The drowsiness. Kids and their schooling.
Yep.
Coming up tomorrow. I guess everybody's going to school tomorrow, ain't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Thanksgiving's over. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. Tom, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Oh, of course I did.
Well, after that heat, Gabriel Kirtley, your leader right now, 208 laps. Glen Burton, 206. Paul Woosley, 201, round up the top three. Let's take a quick look here at Glen Burton, shall we?
Why not?
Glen Burton, just talking to Clay Dame and Robert Bishop out there about pinball. Glen Burton was our badge champion for October for the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary event from Stern Pinball. We gave $100 out for whoever could get that 30th anniversary badge first. It took Glenn about 15 days, but he brought her home and got himself a $100 badge, $100 gift certificate here at Lanes Raceway. You see him holding it there in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. It's a little dark. I'm sorry, that's the only picture we took. It was during pinball night, so everything was darker. LP Thunder Series champ, or fourth place in the, not champ, but fourth place in the LP Thunder Series, 8th place in the Rookie Rumble, and currently, right now, first place in the late model series.
Track messed up.
What happened?
Look at the laps.
1 second, folks. Folks, we have issued another problem here with the TrackMate software. It's done it again, folks. I don't know what to do here other than set it on fire. Nonetheless, that previous heat there, mark it down for us if you're watching or something. Round robin 4 of 9. Or 3 of 9, I'm sorry. There was a lossage of time, so we're going to have to average all that out. "15 seconds, we'll be going by green racing."
Green. Had a tape up for all this and gave it to them. Wait it out.
What you're hearing there in the background, folks, is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Stern Pinball. No copyright strikes here, folks. The review of the pinball machine is, it's a great pinball machine. You should give it a shot. It's got a lot of fast movement, fast flow, and the song ain't bad either. You know, it's from the 90s. You know, it's still got that 90s era feel to it. So, you know, if you like 90s Turtles, you like that 90s era of music, definitely check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because it's the same artwork. It's from the 90s, you know. The artwork, the music, the whole nine.
That means try.
What is going on here? I guess they're putting cars on. Minute 44 seconds here, folks. Like we had several cars come off there.
Yeah, 4 or 5, I think. That was full J.
This will be the last stream for the night, so we will not be. We never streamed the second GRC. We haven't. I think maybe the first time we ever did it, we did. But it's just too much on the voice. Can't really stream that much stuff in a row.
Yeah.
Talking about 8 or 9 hours worth of streaming.
Talking and everything. Yeah.
looks like Nathaniel Burden is out again. He's just watching the cars. Taking it easy, it looks like. So he's the first victim of the full debacle. We'll see if we get anybody else that's going to have issues tonight. I believe
Glenn and someone else.
yep. Looks like Bruce is setting out though. He'll be coming back. He's on deck right now, but he should be coming back.
That was Glenn and Paul. Gotta get real loud.
You can watch Randy Kirtley how quick he is on the trigger there. So we see a car go to the inside lane there on the high banks. Action Jackson himself grabbing the old car. It's Glen Burden's
Yep.
Red Fox machine doing the turtle spin.
Start Glenn's timer.
Yep, got to start the timers. Glen Burden really close to Gabriel Kirtley there. Just a couple laps difference between him and Gabriel.
Just two.
We'll see Glen Burden come off again. I think he took Jay Latham that time with him.
Glenn, Jay, Gabriel,
Randy and
Carson.
Yeah, Carson. That's almost a full J.
Again. Two we've almost seen.
Being back there next.
30 seconds left to go in the heat. Gabriel Kirtley's been up on top for quite some time.
Yeah.
He won't be coming out this heat, but next heat, so heat 5, as we see Carson go to the outside yet again. I heard somebody yell his name.
I say it's about time someone needs to take a spot away from him.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I feel like it's about time that my throat is ready to be done talking. Pretty good at running my gums, though, Tom.
Yeah.
Two more people to the outside. Looks like Glen Burden's up there again. And what's that, Randy Curtin?
I think so.
Okay, I'll ask you. Or I'll ask Callie. I'll text you. I haven't even text that.
Now we got a tie here between Paul and Gabriel Kirtley. Paul coming out of left field from nowheresville, taking the lead. Really cranking those laps up there on Black Lane. 279, even gained a lap there on Gabriel Kirtley as we get a heat over. Let's take a look at what Gabriel was talking about here. 56 laps there on Black. So as when Gabriel was on Black Lane, they suffered a time loss there. And as you can see, he only turned 56 laps there on Black. Very detrimental for Gabriel because Black Lane's where you can turn the most laps. You probably would have got 78, 79 laps along with Paul and Glenn there. So that's definitely going to change the way things are. We will not give you an up-to-date finish tonight on this. Well, we may. I don't know. It just depends if I can fire up the live stream, which I won't be able to because we'll be live streaming. So we won't be able to give you a live update of where people finish tonight on that. But just stay tuned. Check our website out. All of the standings and stuff will be updated. When you see that they're updated for November the 26th, you're good to go, and then you'll know the proper standings for this race. But just know if you went ahead and you pretty much made that a 79 or 78, you can pretty much do the math in your head. It's not like real hard to figure out because the averages we round up or round down depending on if it's 0.5 above, it's a round up. If it's 0.5 or 0.4 and below, we round down. Minute and 30 seconds left to go. We'll take you over here to the standings real quick. See Jay still. Nothing's changed here. These are current standings as of this week. My wife making ices. Thanks for the warning. Jay Latham, 375 points at first, 355 for Glenn, 325 for Jackson, Guillermo Sire. I'll tell you right now, Tom, if I ever go to another place, I'm going to have a booth of my own.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody can bother me whenever I'm doing my live streams. That's going to be great. Can't wait till that happens. Minute left. I'll be right back with you. I'm going to take a small break. I might not be back right whenever it starts, but I'll be back.
As we're going back green racing now, Paul Woolsey out there in the lead, holding down with Gabriel Kirtley. Gabe and Paul fighting for, as we see a wreck coming to the far corner. Looks like Randy and Carson. Looks like they're getting reset back at the start-finish line. As we see our 4 lights coming back out. I got us running.
All right, cool. Ooh, man, that was a hard hit.
Looks like he's stuck inside the car.
Yep, that was a big hit there. So Jackson, he somehow or another survived that. He stayed in. That's pretty nuts.
Yep.
Be alone if you can.
All right, folks, we're back. Ices are done. Jay Latham popping off there. He put his old body back on from the Halloween time of last year. It looks like Carson coming off again. Carson currently in 4th. Gabriel Kirtley going to come out after this heat right here. Paul Woolsey 308 laps. He's here to stay.
Oh yeah. He's always came to stay somewhere in the top 3 to the top 5.
Him and Randy Kirtley tend to be a little bit battling back and forth.
Yeah, definitely.
Woo! What a hard smack there. That might have been an axle there. Now, is that Jackson?
That
off
looks
the
like
track?
Jay and Carson, maybe. Not Jay, Jackson and Carson, maybe. Not 100% sure though. Let's see if the cars get put back on.
It's definitely Carson.
Carson. Red lane.
Bruce.
Ah.
Looks like Bruce back up there to the high side again. No, that wasn't Bruce. That was actually Jackson that time. Their oranges are too close together
They
on
are.
the camera. The one thing I'm noticing is it's really nobody's ball game until really after you get around the 6th or 7th heat.
Yeah.
Can you even tell anything's going on, especially whenever you got 9 people in the race.
For sure. Stuff changes so quickly. People pull out.
People get destroyed.
Yeah.
Right now, Nathaniel, he is actually setting out. Nathaniel, I'm hoping for a very good finish here, as we can tell. So that looks to be Jay Latham yet again. Nathaniel don't know where to go. Oh, that's what he was looking for. He's looking for that comfy seat.
Oh yeah. Everybody likes the comfy chairs.
We do. We do. This chair is way better than that plastic one I was sitting in.
Those plastic ones after a while hurt for a little bit.
They do. 33 seconds left to go. Here we are in the booth, folks. Oh, my hair's starting to come out a little bit here, Tom. I'm starting to look a little bit like Bob Ross, except I can't paint real well. Tom, who would you say you look like?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know? You don't have any idea?
No.
Interesting.
My hair's so shiny.
You must eat a lot of eggs. 28 seconds left to go. Paul Woosley, 336 laps. Your leader, Glenn Burton, 331. He's took over Gabriel.
Yeah, he did.
Randy Kirtley down there, 58 laps though. It's like a hungry shark waiting. Pretty scary. Jay Latham, he's had quite a few wrecks here lately in this heat. Probably bent guide flag, I would say. Him and Carson both.
Yeah. That one sounded like he had a little bit of help.
Yep.
The way that one went. Wind just pull up.
I think he did. Glenn in third place, Carter. 3 seconds left to go in the heat, and Paul Lewis is still holding down to the first place. Gabriel Curley now gaining his position back there for Glen. Glen got himself a gear, what I could hear here in the booth. Strip him out of gear. All these hard hits like that, man, it'll do it. Plays toll on these cars for real. How many chassis have you gone through in the NASCAR series?
Chassis?
Yeah.
Man. One. I think just one, actually.
Just one?
I've got two.
Still hanging on to the first one, huh?
No, the first one's gone. That was the one that got messed up the most. The second one followed. I turned that thing into a tank. It's got so much piano wire and solder on it. There's no bend in it. And if it bends, I'm throwing it away because I'm not bending it back.
Yeah. Heading over here to the track, mate, we can see only the, I guess that was what, the fourth heat? That was the bad heat that everybody had to go through. Everything else seems to be shaping up to be halfway decent. But nonetheless, that's there. It's a blip that we're going to have to get fixed. Nathaniel, of course, having a horrible race weekend here. 13, 63, 18, 6. We hate to see old Natty Ice down there that low. But, that's how it happens sometimes. We got Glen Burton here. He's fixing his gear, and he's going to get back out there for the last 3 heats. Carson there, he's got 3 more heats left to go, too. Surprisingly doing better than normal, but still wrecking quite a bit. He needs to figure some stuff out. Jackson, he's got 4 more heats left to go, so we're going to see him really climb here towards the end. Him, Bruce, and Jay, and I think Randy. That's your cutoff there. Everybody else only has 3 heats, so we'll see how things turn out. Paul Woods is going to hang on there for just a couple more heats. 1 minute 40 seconds left to go. I'm going to leave you guys with the oval and be right back with you. Gabriel Curley in a full-blown sprint to get out there to work on these cars, or at least capture Carson's. They've done a full 180 turnaround, 360 in the high banks. Nonetheless, folks, hey, I talked to him. We're pretty frustrated here with the TrackMate software. We might actually be moving over to the, I think he called it Lapmaster, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
And I believe that's, if I'm not mistaken, that is what the ISRA people, the ISRA Worlds people are using, if I'm not mistaken. Those guys are out of New Jersey, so definitely check those guys out. They actually live stream some of their races too, at least for the past month or so. They've been around since September the 11th on YouTube, so definitely check those guys out. Of course, they run like a flat track, Worlds type track. But nonetheless, you know, I'm not seeing them have any issues like we're having here. And I don't know. It's just it's highly irritating. We've done reinstalled it and installed it, done the latest updates. I couldn't tell you how many times. Went and checked all of the joints on everything on the track, and there's It's just the software. It's nothing hardware bound. It's simply software glitching out.
Yeah.
Almost as if the software cannot stand that a timer's running.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it needs to be fixed. You know, it's been a year and a half in the waiting here. I know several messages have been sent. Not to mention, you know, some stuff does get fixed here and there. We've seen the drag strip get fixed, but as for this, not so much. We are 3/4 into this, folks. Minute and 49 seconds left to go here on the clock. Technically, we should only started about 13 minutes ago, so not too bad, is it,
Not too
Tom?
bad.
Now, whether or not we're going to make it to the 8 cutoff, I don't know. I think we'll still be going by that time.
Right.
So what's going on here, Tom? We need to hit go or what?
Yeah.
Give them a 10-second warning.
10-second warning. Let it run.
10-second warning, folks. 10-second warning. There we go. That got them moving, didn't it, Tom?
Yep.
I would say the biggest issue that Carson's facing here is tires, right? So we can watch him coming around here on the yellow lane, how much his back end steps out compared to other people. He's running Wonder Rubbers. That's what comes with these cars. They last forever,
They do.
but they don't grip like the Fish does. The Fish, you get a race, 2 races, maybe 3 races out of it if you're really good to them. But they grip so much harder. When you look at the track and you see those lines in their track, that's fish rubber being laid down. That's what is the biggest pain in the butt to clean off whenever we do a refresh of every one of these tracks.
Yep.
So, you know, there's trade-offs.
Right.
At the beginning, you know, you definitely have to run some sort of like Wonder Rubber, in my opinion, to soak up the glue, to be fast.
They do.
But once the rubber gets laid on the track, if you're still running Wonder Rubber, you're losing. Because rubber on rubber meets the road, baby. And that fish rubber, whenever it gets on rubber, it just hooks. We get another car there on its lid sliding in front of Bruce Bullington and Paul Woosley. Paul Woosley makes the long grab to grab that baby. We're starting to see somewhat of a pattern here. Jackson and Carson having a little bit of issues this heat. All the clicking and the clacking and the clicking and the clacking you're hearing in the background is Lane's Raceway's pinball machines going nutty. We have turned up the volume for our microphone here. I want to make sure it's still working, actually. Sometimes the batteries die on us, but it looks like it's doing. All right. Anyways, the clicking and clacking is pinball. People love pinball here. We hold pinball tournaments and competitions here at Lane's Raceway. Not to mention on our birthday packages, you can play pinball for free here. So, as long as the package gets paid for. We set aside those dates and post it to our Facebook page, letting everybody know the private event happens. While it's happening, we will also put a sign up outside if you're not a part of the party. You're allowed to come into the shop, but you're not allowed to hang out. You're allowed to come buy something and then roll until that time's up. But everybody's been really good about it, and our parties have always been successful. I hope that the next time that we do have a private event or party, it's as successful as the previous ones. I know we got to get a couple cars set up for the next party. Not too excited about that. I've been working a lot on cars the past couple weeks, not to mention these live stream setups and stuff like that, as we get a car tumbling all the way down to the inside lane there. You know, and this stuff takes a lot of time, you know. When you start putting these cameras up, Tom, you start running the wires for it, and you do all that kind of stuff. It takes a lot of your life out. But I think it's worth it. I mean, I think that the people really enjoy the extra views. I think they enjoy an updated software that's nice and clean and runs good. so that people can keep track of their favorite racers.
Yeah.
I just wish I could get Facebook Live to actually work, to where we could have people messaging again on Facebook. They did an update one time and it just murdered it. It literally murdered our communications. Now, we do have a Restream chat thing that I had been messing with, but I don't have the password for it currently, and I can't get it for some reason. So, Paul Woodley out in the lead, 426. You know, he's going to be coming in here hot next heat, I believe. And he'll be coming out after that. Right now, he is the main leader, 426. Carson there, he's got a couple more heats left to go, 367. Randy Kirtley in third, and he's still got 3 heats left to go. So he's the cutoff there. So he's most likely going to be the one that's going to bring this home. Him or Gabriel Kirtley, most likely, it's looking like. So keep an eye out for these guys. We'll see what happens. Current standings here right now, you don't even see Randy Kirtley on the list. He's still got a couple races where he can finish out his to be able to see if he's going to be able to compete points-wise.
Yeah.
So Jay Latham, Glenn Burden, Jackson, Darty, and Guillermo Sires are top 4 for standings. Head over to the pinball cam here. We see Dana taking a nice little seat there, waiting on some guys to get done. Bruce rolling around there. That's our VR setup there. It's also a little racing setup. You don't have to necessarily do VR, but we got a curved monitor from Asus. It's a gaming monitor. A lot of guys choose to use that. It's a little bit more fidelity, a little bit more frames per second, stuff like that. So guys like that. Heading over to the orange track. There's Dana again. He's in perfect view of all of our cameras.
Oh, yeah.
But nonetheless, we have a pretty good time here. Leave it with the oval. We'll be right back with you guys in about a minute and 20 seconds. Folks, we're back racing, and some disappointing news just come into the booth. Nathaniel and Glenn both out of the race. Glenn brought his car to retire it here. Took too many hits in the back. It's bent. It's moved the motor. What's probably really happened is where it was soldered in. It's probably broke the solder joint. Anyways, he's done stripped 2 gears. He wants me to take care of it and get it fixed for him for next time. But these guys, both of the Burden boys, they're out this heat. And that's disappointing because we know that Glenn Burden is running hard for first place. And let's just take a quick look here. We got plenty of time here. We know the standings right now. Jay is in the lead. Glenn's in second. How bad is this going to hurt player card wise? So we'll take a look here at Glenn Burden. That's Garrett. Pardon me. Glenn Burden and Jay. So we see Glenn Burden here with second place in the Cup Series, and Jay's in first. So, I mean, it's iffy. Nathaniel Burden, where's he located? He is located in fifth. So it's going to hurt Nathaniel more than it is Glenn, essentially. So we'll see if Glenn can come back from that. But nonetheless, it's not going to be good either way you look at it, folks, for Glenn.
Unfortunate news.
You know, nobody wants to lose points going into the backside of the series.
Yeah.
They just don't want to. I mean, you never want to lose points, but you're better off losing those points early on before you start actually doing your replacement races. Because you want your replacement races to count. You want them to, give you those extra point boosts that you need to get those points up.
Yeah.
And it looks like Jay, he's on his way on the uptick. He's in currently right now in 5th position. But it's going to be a big day for the Kirtley boys. Randy and Gabriel Kirtley definitely going to get themselves some points here this race weekend. And Carson, of course, going to be coming out not this heat, but next heat.
Taking off your slick shades.
Four red lights dropping out to green. We're going back green racing. Like I said, Paul Woosley currently your leader coming out this heat. And he'll still have one heat left to go. That'll be the final heat when he comes back in to go on red lane. Right now, an impressive 455 total laps as he pops out right there. And Gabriel Kirtley cleans up his back end a little bit to see whether or not maybe might be another injury called out here on the track. So far, out of the 9 racers, 2 of them dropped out of the race already. We've seen it before, Tom. We'll probably see it again, or if there's only 2 or 3 people left racing in this race, simply because how hard these cars are going and how quick they hit each other. So, broke axles, stripped gears, broke motor mounts, all this stuff happens, and it all has to be fixed on the fly. So a lot of people end up being out for the heat. 1 minute and 6 seconds left to go in the heat, though. And Jay Latham, like I said, he's going to start making that climb. Right there behind him is Jackson. Jackson's running those fresh set of tires. He's pretty impressed with it.
Yeah.
I think Jackson actually got another heat left to run versus Jay, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe they were both in the cutoff. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Jackson running pretty smooth down there on Purple Lane, though. I've been noticing he's got a nice move about it. I want to kind of take a look here at the second cam here and check him out on Purple as he comes in. See if he's keeping that back under control here. She's swapping around there. He's over accelerating sometimes, but a lot of the times that car is perfect. So like right there was a good one. That's a good one. It was a little, well, he probably could have drove it a little deeper. Because you see the back end still tucked on it on the entry. That means he could drive it just a hair deeper. What you want to see is that back end to be perfectly straight coming across that center.
Yeah.
And that's hung out just enough. But you don't want it tailing off, because then you're drifting and that's costing you time. Nobody likes to be cost time, for sure. Jay Latham surpassing Gabriel Kirtley there on red lane, moving up into 4th position. Old rivals, Jay and Gabriel, from the very first series here, all the way back to when we were kids in the 2000s running at Slot City, Dell and Greg McClintock. Final 10 seconds going to bring it to this. What can Paul Woosley do in those 10 seconds? Well, right now it looks like he's going to wreck and narrowly escape getting slammed in the back from Gabriel Kirtley.
Paul gets lucky. I've noticed it a lot. He gets really lucky with some of his wrecks.
Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people have bad luck, especially in this series. You see Paul there running his finger across the braid. Never a good idea to do that, by the way. this braid has took so many hits and stuff like that. You start running your fingers across that braid, you fixing to catch a metal wire up in your hand. How do I know? I've done it.
So have I.
It does not feel good.
No, it don't.
Worse than a porcupine. And Carson coming off right there as we get a
Runtime.
error. Runtime. Here we go. Let me get over here. I'm trying to get to it, folks. Boom. There we go. Start another one. Man, I'm quick. That should get us through the rest of the race.
Yeah.
But we are bowling down to the last few minutes here. 7:28. Probably not going to be able to run that second race. It's going to be a little too late.
Like, there's still 2 more heats to go.
Yeah, and this one was quite some time here. Like I said, folks, we're not going to be able to have accurate representation of where these people are because Gabriel K lost so many laps there on Black Lane. That's why he's down as low as he is. He suffered hard there on losing them laps. Randy Kirtley there turning an impressive 80 laps, though. I think that's the record tonight, is 80 laps there on Black.
I think so.
Paul Woodsy coming out this heat, and then he'll come back in on Red Lane. Carson Ross got him one more heat to go, and then he'll be off. And everybody else got him a couple more heats. Nathaniel and Glen got 3, but of course they have stepped out. Well, actually 2, because they didn't run that last heat, so they have 2 too. Anyways, folks, it's been a very, very exciting little bit here. Going back to the standings here. Jay holding it down right now. We'll see if he can still continue to do that. We'll have to do the math. We'll get that updated before next week. Me and Tom holding it down here in the booth. Glenn Burton's got himself a car here in his hands. Is that Nathaniel's? What's up with Nathaniel's?
Same thing mine is.
Motor busted, probably.
You got kids in the car, you don't know what to do.
All right, I'll take a look at it, man.
It's like it slows and it speeds up.
Motor's probably overheating.
Yeah. You got a little too much play in it, dude. It was probably fine, or it could be your pinion. How much time we got?
3 seconds.
38.
I'm gonna go take a break real quick and be right back.
Yeah. So your stuff's getting loose, dude. It's tight enough. You probably finish the race in. All these hits, Carson's car is a little loose on the gear, so every once in a while he's losing a little grip on his axle. A lot of this can be negated if you use flatted axles and stuff. If you use flatted axles, they're not as strong. They tend to bend. They tend to break. So I don't know. It's a trade-off. What we got an issue here though is that Carson narrowly escaped that wreck. Minute and 55 seconds. I'll be right back with you guys. Enjoy the race, and I'll see you here in just a moment. Yeah.
You show me 3 more times. I can not get the home. When you gonna get injured? Oh, wait on him.
Look at there. Got one putting some money in.
Wings is what it is.
Hurt myself actually feeling.
What the film is that?
Dude, there's so many good things on this club through this area. I just couldn't get it. They had I've seen a Ghostbusters come and go for $9,000 premium. Well, I can't pull that kind of loan without getting that kind of tax. It's something I can do. I ain't waiting for the law. So if I plan on making $4 then I can't really do that until January 21st. Now, around all it's big money. It's all over it. Well, it's somewhat cheap, but
I'm gonna play some basketball going forward.
all right, man. Good luck. All right, folks, we're back in the mix. Hopefully Tom tied you over while I was gone. Looks like Bruce had to get himself a gear too, so he's kind of out of the mix right now too. And there's another hard hit right there, folks. Full speed, wide open hit.
Been in plenty of those.
A lot of wrecks, a lot of hard hits, a lot of hurts. 8 of 9 is what we're on. Randy Kirtley currently in the lead. Carson Ross there in second. Randy Kirtley saying something to Jay, I believe. And I hear Jackson with his signature laugh. The
Yep.
said he was going to change his laugh to something that was kind of funny, but I can't remember what it was. Carson's car needs to be pulled off the track as it is suffering horribly. It's bent. There's no doubt about it. If we watch it come around there, it's literally stuttering. Looks like I got several NASCARs to work on this next couple days. Here's the problem with that, dude. They're pan systems, so you got to take all that stuff apart, just like a GRC. You got to fix all that stuff. And we're talking hours of work here.
Oh yeah.
For what? For me to fix it and them to completely destroy it?
Pretty much.
This series is rough on this trial.
I know how it is. I've worked on plenty of cars out there too. Rebending
I think a
them,
lot
rebending
of the damage wouldn't take its place as much if it was just a little longer, because then they'd have to blip there in the crook of the track, and that'd help them set up a little bit better going around the high banks.
Yeah.
And it's not such a big blur. You know what I mean? But 9 seconds left to go in this heat, and we only got one more left to go. And I've seen worse. I have seen worse for sure.
Yeah. I've seen a lot worse. We may hit that 8 o'clock mark.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Here we are going back to the track mate here. Randy Kirtley, your current leader right now. Like I said, all that could change depending on what the average was, let's say for Gabriel and for Jay and for Paul. Because if their averages get them, let's say for instance, Paul above 76 or whatever it may be to capitalize above Randy here, then that would change it. Where Randy didn't take that hit because he wasn't actually in the race, if I'm not mistaken, while that took place. So, Randy's definitely going to bring this home because he's going to get a 20 or 30 lap advantage on everybody here. So that's not to be, beside itself. Right now we see Randy with a 2.4 average above everybody else. That's significant this late in the game. One would argue that's cheating, but nonetheless, like I said, I think when that all gets figured out, we'll get a true explanation. Stay tuned to the website, lanesraceway.com. Check that out for the standings. Now, we'll get that updated at least by next week. A lot of that stuff, depending on the server and everything, if it's live, that's the biggest issue that we have. If the server's not up and Lanes Raceway's down, I can't help that. So, minute and 16 seconds. We'll be right back with you. Minute and 54 seconds. We are back to racing. Glenn Nathaniel out, having a conversation here with Glenn about his car and Nathaniel's car. Both of them experiencing the same issue. Mounts broke. Those motor mounts being sorter joints, or they're bent. Either way you look at it, it's stripped of gear. Because the way these guys like to run them is really, really meshed up loose, but not so loose that they strip, but just that perfect bit to where that they can get a good coast and they can hang in there and be quick, because the whole point's to be smooth and fast and quick and freed up in this series because it's open. So they run them on that ragged edge, even though it may cost them the whole race because, a motor could take a real hard shunt shot or, the axle can bend just a hair, which will end up pushing the motor back. A lot of things can take place. It's brutal little bit of man, that car right there got sold up. Everybody's laughing right now, but they're laughing behind closed eyes filled with tears because every one of these guys are hating this full-blown debacle that is the Fairview IT Cup Series here at Lanes Raceway. They love it, but they hate it. They want to see if they can get through this gauntlet that we call a race. And if they can, they feel pretty good about taking home a win. But at the same aspect, they hate it because they know they have to drive through a Days of Thunder wreck every single lap for the most part. But we've seen quite a bit worse. So as we see another one on its lid, sliding to the inside by the crook of the track. Crook of the track's been a pretty popular spot of the track tonight. Several cars coming off there, getting on their lids. Could be over acceleration coming out of the dead man's corner, but most likely from the slopping back and forth and a little bit of body rub causing cars to come on off. Jackson currently in 5th position. Right above him, Gabriel Kirtley.
What is it? I don't see it.
32 seconds left to go. Ooh, and another hard hit, completely knocked off. That would be Jay Latham giving a good old slamming job to the car next to him, which I believe is Jackson.
I think so.
And Jackson had some words cracking Gabriel up. I think Jackson might be upset about that full speed come apart there. Might be calling Jay out openly. Jackson is a man with no guile. He will just straight up openly call you out.
Yeah.
It's got to be respected.
Hair color. Black. Would you rather do that or that? Like, would you rather?
Coming into the final 10 seconds, I think Randy's going to end up taking this, even though we still got to do the lap average.
Yeah, we'll have my wife take a picture. We'll get all that stuff updated and have it on the website for you guys out there. But pretty much just add 25 laps to everybody, and you'll pretty much get pretty close. All right, folks, that is it. Randy Kirtley currently in the lead. Paul Woosley really close behind him with just 20 laps difference. Jay Latham there with 5:54. He's going to be taking 2nd place pretty much, and Gabriel going to be taking 3rd. Jackson back in his 4th position. That's your top 4. These are your standings. Of course, you know, Glen and Nathaniel having a pretty rough night. Carson wrecking a lot too. It was rough all around as usual. I had my wife take a picture of this. Like I said, the standings will change. We will get all this stuff figured out, and we'll get it posted on our webpage. This is me and Tom here at Lanes Raceway. Thank you guys for tuning in this race weekend of November the 26th. Come back and join us next Sunday here at Lanes Raceway. We only got a few more race weekends left to go before this series is up and done. And then we'll be talking about banquets and stuff coming up. But nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in to Fairview IT Cup, also known as the Pure Debacle, also known as Destruction Derby, also known as Dumpster Fire.